It's easier than you think. Let's just start with that. Episode something or other. And I try and be as real with you as I can be on here. And people that work with me have a different experience of me, because that's why they come to me. And the experience is deep down they know something, but they know I'm going to tell them. And it's always something that they already know. But they're willing to go there. So let's take that in a minute. One of the reasons why I don't do tapping on here. With people that I don't know. Because if I do, the work that I do with the clairvoyance and psychic knowing that I have, and that person isn't ready to face it, to know it, to acknowledge it, it can sometimes be damaging. So I work with people that sometimes circle me for a good few years. Now, why do they do that? What they tell me is, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to face that my marriage was over, or that my marriage was actually making me sick. That the person that I'm living with or the job I'm in is actually the source of my illness. Because I'm not ready for the inconvenience of change. So I have to walk a line. Because I am the worst person to have in your life when you don't want to know what you already know. Or I live in Hollywood, and you know who the best actors are? You. Everybody's going around acting. Acting that they can get through it. Acting that it isn't what it is. Acting that the denial will help, but will get me through the holidays. Suppression, which is the source of all therapy, to get you to acknowledge what you are suppressing. But even in the knowing of it, you still might not change. Winging it, seeing if I can get away with another few years of being in denial. And then the last part is the real inconvenience. And we talk a lot about authenticity. We talk about authenticity. Oh my God, I want to be so authentic.
Authenticity.
Authenticity is a byproduct of being yourself. You cannot, what you're seeing is when you see people, something's not right there, yeah. You're seeing you're being marketed to. And what I see around this time of year, and I used to ignore it, but today I couldn't, because I've seen it a lot today online, of people who want to tell you what the lessons were that they learned through their denial, stupidity, unawareness, that they were aware but they didn't want to be aware. And then they're going to sell you a book. To delay you further. And it's something that's said a lot in the wellness community. What's the lesson in this? And the lesson a lot of the time is that you weren't present with the truth. And your intuition was right. And when I talk about intuition, I'm talking about a sacred thing, because I'm teaching spirituality, spiritual conscious energy. Not consciousness, you can hack consciousness with affirmations and prayer work and, you know. But spiritual consciousness will hack you. And what you won't look at will amplify. We know this. Carl Jung said this. What you resist persists. That was not Wayne Dyer. That was Carl Jung. And he actually said it actually gets bigger or amplifies when you don't look at it. That's part of the mechanism we're inside of, the software. And we can go around talking about the lessons. And we can follow, oh my God, the lessons. But if we really understood the lessons of others, then there would be no drug addiction. Because you would get the lessons of Janis Joplin, right? You would get the lessons of people's pain and not go through it yourself. But you have to go through what you have to go through in your own act. So what you're experiencing right now is Mercury's about to go retrograde. But even it's a shift in the energy coming into 2023, which the Lunar New Year is early this year. It's in January. And you're experiencing this software that is here. It's kind of like if you've seen the film Babylon, or if you remember, you know, the film The Artist, when the talkies came in and everything went into colour and talkies, but there was the actors from the silent era and they didn't translate over. It was a new thing. We're in that same space. And we're in this space where we're in a new consciousness. And Spirit is making us look at what we need to clean on an individual basis. And when you're living in and I don't even like the authenticity and the inauthenticity, but when you're living, propping up a facade, a ghost town, a kind of like a production, you know, like when you're in Hollywood and you go to Universal Studios and you see the sets, and you're propping up a set, whether it's I don't like my job, I stay longer than I should do until it makes me sick. And what was the lesson in that? Oh, maybe I should have left the job sooner. Easy, right? Easy. But when you're tired and you've got 2 kids at home and you're just wrecked, you know, it's an effort to go and look for a new job. Or when you just feel down and you just don't feel like your best self, to go out there and pitch yourself. But the thing is, sometimes there's no more self-help you can do. There's no more books to read. There's just an inner asking from deep in your soul of what work do I need to do? And it's usually the work you don't want to do. You usually skip and trot to all the workshops and all the gatherings that are going to get you nowhere. Or books that you already know. Oh, I knew that. I read that in another book. Or, you know, podcast 128. Telling you it's all an inside job. So usually I just let people be where they're at. But this is a dog whistle. Don't do that getting into 2023. Clean it. Look at it. It might be ugly. It might be painful. It might be, I don't know where to start. You've already started just by looking. Sometimes you need to let the house burn down. And then you're free. And then when you start to do it, it's like, wow, God, I made it such a big thing here. I made it such a big thing up here. That was easier than I thought. I should have done that years ago. Why didn't I do that years ago? I want you to really zoom out. Here's the problem with looking at patterns for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. You need to waste 20 years in a pattern, 10 years, 5 years. Because it takes that long to see the pattern. Rather than starting to excavate. We all have it. We all have things that we need to clean from our upbringing. But the thing is, the consciousness knows what you need. Because it knows what you want. It knows your dreams. But you're going to have to clear and clean the things that's holding you back as you go towards your dreams. Because sometimes there's only the going forward and cleaning as you go. Because even too much cleaning without the work going into it and the doing is also a delay. That you're never ready. So I hope that helps give you a little bit of clarity. Because the energy that you're feeling is a force that's forcing you to drop the act and stop pretending you're fine. Every person that's came to me with cancer or any incurable disease, they're not looking for tips and tricks or the 5 lessons that I learned through this, that, and whatever. They want to look deep in the pit of what it is that they know. That they don't want to utter. Because you know the greatest thing that people say to me? And I don't take it lightly. I've never told this to a soul. And these are people that have been in therapy. Not people that have never done any work on themselves. People who have done 9 ketamine treatments. But they're like, it kept coming up in the ketamine treatments. And I know I need to look at it. But I need a wingman that's going to be able to look at it with me. Because these are the things that put sensors on our life. These are the things that are running your show. These are the things that are creating your patterns. Because they're editing you. But I want to make it joy. Like, let's enjoy getting to know ourselves. Oh my God, people will say, you know, that when we're doing a workshop, you'll never guess what I've just realized. And we enjoy unraveling. Because everybody's like, oh my God, I've got that too. But just in a different way from you. Mine's manifests like this. And it's fun. And it's enjoyable. Because we know that that person's further on their path, closer to their alignment, closer to being able to breathe into handling the success, the abundance, the prosperity, love, whatever it is. Because everything else is a killjoy. And I know because I've been doing this 20 years. And I have watched people sabotage and derail their lives when things start to go good. But the ones that know this is something that's basic in my teachings. We have to clean it. Because it's like danger, danger. We're not out of the woods. Life is short. And many of you that are married, many of you that are in relationships, you know, these last 2 years of COVID, I've said, are like doggy years. 1 year was like a 7 years of marriage. Things that you would know about a person in 7 years, even yourselves. So it's almost like a quickening. A quickening of things that you would never maybe have looked at, but through this just compression cooker that everybody was put in, it made everybody look at things that they wouldn't have looked at. So I give you a round of applause, the ones that are looking, but it's dense. It's dense. And sometimes the go-to is to go to the light fluffy stuff. Oh my God, I'm gonna go to a sound bath tonight. That's gonna help my trauma. And it sometimes takes the edge off. Because sometimes we're looking for tips and tricks. And the soul doesn't need tips and tricks. It needs work. And it needs sincere work. But this has been a holiday that I can feel had an edge to it for a lot of people. They were remembering holidays, like things can't go back to the way they were. Right? We're in a different consciousness. We're in a different technology. We're in a different we're in a different ether. And I don't even think you guys can even muster pretending the superficiality that people do or were doing before COVID or even during COVID. I think people just can't, they just don't have the energy for it. And I'm glad. I'm happy that they don't. Because sometimes doing that for 10 years can manifest all sorts of ailments. Autoimmune especially, mutation within the self. When did I turn my back on me? Every time I said I was fine. I'm okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all an act. Sometimes the best thing to do is just cry and be like, it's not okay. It's shit. It's just a big bleh. And then you can just start from there. Because at least it's honest. It's not authentic. It's honest. And the soul craves you to be honest with yourself. The hardest thing I would say for humans is to ask for help. Or to admit that something they're doing isn't working. When people say to me, they send me emails and they say, I've worked on myself for 20 years. And I'm like, and? Then what are you coming to me for? It's a defense. I've done all my work on myself. What could you possibly discover? Maybe the source of your crap. And we need to have a sense of humor. So I would really sit with your New Year's resolutions. Of maybe just being like, I'm just not going to take any more crap. Or maybe I'm just not going to put up with shit anymore. Or pretend that I'm the problem. Because I'm asking everybody to be, be aware, have spatial awareness, be conscientious, be kind. Maybe those New Year resolutions would be good. Just so that you can start to discover a part of yourself that maybe was lost. Maybe it was lost back in 1984. Maybe it was 97. Maybe it was 2004. Maybe it was 2014. Maybe you turned your back on yourself then. But you're going to get reacquainted this year. And the people that might be around you might not like it. Because they never signed up for this. They signed up for the asleep one. The nice one. The one they could shit on. The one that would put up with it. But usually when you start shifting your consciousness and you start to become the real you, they just drop away. They just disappear. You make them vomit. It's like it's a natural asshole repellent. So I'm just giving you the heads up. Because I've been sitting with the energy of 2023. I do it the month before. Usually 2 months before I could feel it. But it really kind of gains some steam the last few days. And I don't think, but I know this Arctic cyclone, this coldness, this ice, that's right across America. Americans are so good at being nice. These are so charming. But it can sometimes be your undoing to yourselves. And it can harm you. Because the emotional distress and the emotional density of the inner scream is muffled and it can manifest in its many forms. So I want you to realize that it's, you know, I want you to just be you, the real you. And whoever doesn't like it can lump it. Because you always have to be in that singularity with every moment of the choices that you make that are like acorns gathering, moments upon moments and moments of denial that can then tip the scales one day. But this has been building for a while. I really felt it today. I felt now that we were through the holidays part of it, I wanted to have this chat with you that could maybe shed some light onto how you're feeling. And you know what? Sometimes the best thing to do is go have a good cry, write it down, sit with a pen and paper and just wait. Go for a walk, go for a swim, you know. Just sit in it. Because the other option is to numb out through pharmaceutical drugs, through alcohol, through weed, through TV, through porn. Like, take your pick. Even like, oh, I meditated for 3 hours today. Why? Sugar. Yeah, sugar. Food. Because even spirituality, you know, can be escapism. How many more, you know, massages and acupuncture sessions or, you know, things do you need to do because you don't want to sit with it? And as I said earlier, I am sometimes the worst person to have around when you don't want to sit in it. And that's fine by me because I'm there when you do want to look at it. And I don't impose myself onto people that aren't ready to look at it. I'm not into conversion therapy to make you look at stuff that your psyche's not ready to look at. I'm the safe space. When people say to me, I'm so scared to come to you, I was so scared, I was like, you should be more scared at the lies you've been telling yourself than me. That's truly terrifying. That's like, it's like Get Out shit, the film. That's like some real, I'm fine, no, really, smile. It's like a horror film. And that contortion can create horrific things. So just be, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't think I really need to kind of say the differences between what I do and talk therapy. Someone has just asked me that question. Because sometimes in talk therapy, you have to unpack what it is. Sometimes people already know. They just want to delay in the unpacking. But sometimes people don't know. So they have to unpack. And then once they've unpacked and the core of the ugliness is there, that's what I do. I go into the ugliness. The terrifying place. The denial. The thing that's stroking you and making you and licking you and pretending that you're not in a place that you're at. Protecting you from going there, but you're stagnant. You're safe, but you're unrealized. You're safe, but you're bored. No one's going to tell you. I'm not even going to tell you unless I'm working with you. Because as I said before, it can be more damaging. So it's only what you're really ready to reveal to yourself, which can be quite shocking for some. But shocking in a way that you already know. So I hope this has given you some insight into the energy, the feeling that you maybe haven't been able to put your finger on. Because it can get very tricky. Because we're tricky. Sometimes the predisposition to feel safe can put up with a lot of unactualization. It's not the psyche that knows when to tap into things. It's the courage of yourself to do it. Or sometimes it's not even courage. I would say that you're just done not doing it. You're done. It's a very specific frequency. You know when an addict decides today at 6:15 that that's it. I'm no longer going to be an addict today. And I've done it for 20 years. Why that day? What happened that just clicked into place? What snapped? What was the moment of clarity? Hey Maria. It's, I call it being a cooked goose. Once you're cooked all the way through it and you just know, you know that today's the day I'm done with my shit. Today's the day I'm not putting... What's the day that a woman walks out and says, that's it, I'm done. I'm done putting up with this shit. Why that day? Why that moment? That is the soul. There is no formula. There is no 5 steps to this or that, the 3 lessons of the wise men, and there's no, you know, what I know, and I'm going to sell you a book about it. It is an internal tuning that is in alignment with your soul, your purpose, your mission, that you are just done. And because we're in the information age, you could distract yourself all day, every day, collecting data on how to make that decision that you know you need to make, and now we're 5 years later and you're still reading books about it. Because sometimes you need to get pissed off, and you need to get mad, and you need to get, I'm done, enough's enough, I'm at my wit's end. Or you're like, screw it, or you're like, WTF. When's that moment? It's an internal knowing and scream. But if you are anesthetizing yourself, you're giving yourself one of those heroin lollipops to suck on. To self-soothe. Because you're not ready yet. That's what you think. Because it's easier than you think. Full circle moment. I know, that was a lot today. But someone has to say it. Because some days I will see stuff online that's just placards, sound bites, and I can ignore it, but not today. I couldn't do it today. Because I know yous are hurting, some of you, and someone needs to say it. What you already know. So you've got this, and yeah, maybe you need to be, as Lizzo says, 100% that bitch. You know, did you get your DNA test? Oh, people won't like me. Thanks, Emma Kate. She watched from our paddle board. Yay, technology! I am out in the ocean in New Zealand talking to the dolphins. The dolphins are like, oh God, I'm so glad someone's told these humans. They're such actors. You see, that's the one thing about animals. They'll tell you. They don't fake smile. They show teeth. It's a warning. And sometimes you need to warn people to quit it. So really define your nice. Right? Are you being too nice? Do people walk all over you? Shit on you? Take niceness for softness? The naughty and nice season. Sometimes you're not doing others any favors either, being nice. Because it's inauthentic. Since it's the age of, I have to be authentic. Hope this helps. The quicker you can start being you and more you, the better. And you'll thrive, honestly. you'll thrive. And as I said, it will just repel them. The ones that want to, as we used to say, you know, take a loan of you. You know, use you. I need you to use you. All up. So, I need to go feed the dogs. But it's been good. I'm glad that you liked it, Violetta. I will post it later. I'll download it and post it. So, because there's a lot in here for you to digest. We just went into stream of consciousness, and obviously I can connect energetically because that's what I do to you all. So I know that you were pulling it forward. But someone had to see it. And seemingly I am the designated driver. I'm the designated driver to, you know, Joy City. And when we talk about joy, that is also coming. Because there is superficial joy and there is real joy. And real joy doesn't put up with inauthenticity. Real joy can sometimes take you by surprise. Of like, oh God, I really enjoyed letting that go. Or I really enjoyed like saying that out loud. Or I really enjoyed not putting up with that shit. Or I really enjoyed just being me for the first time. That's that kind of joy that I like. The superficial joy can be a horse and pony show. Okay? Big love to you all, and it's going to be a ride, a roller coaster ride 2023. But like all good roller coaster rides, we're all on there to scream, laugh, be thrilled, enjoy it. So you better make sure you're going on the roller coaster ride with people that are also in their truth. And enjoy a good scream and a good ride. Because life is too short for this shit. Love you. That was awesome. It was a lot, I know. I know. But I'll come on during the last few days of this year and we'll do some things, some processes that you can use to get the barnacles off you. All right, I need to go. Again, bye. Love you.